Hello. Being pregnant is super brutal. I'm very, very tired, but I need to make this happen for you guys. The whole second trimester, I was like, let's do it, pump out all this content. I've got all these podcast episodes and YouTube videos, I think, ready for months through till like September. And now I am very unproductive, but I'm pushing through and it won't be long till I can slow on down. But why not do a bit of a Q&A? So I asked on Instagram for some questions for this next video, got a few good ones, so let's get started. Realistic ways to reduce stress for uni students. I mean, this is good for just anyone who's super busy, but I do understand that being a uni student seems to be next level. I think that the best thing you can do, you know all the stress reducing techniques, right? People have told you all of the things, meditation, walks. I think that it's good to look into as well your nutrition and how eating well can help support your stress. I think it's important to look into meal timing and making sure you are eating frequently and enough so that your body is feeling less of the stress. I think that it's important to make sure you're sleeping plenty so that your body feels less stressed. Like all of these little things are in your control, whereas your deadlines at uni, college are not in your control. So it's important to be diligent with those things and, take off your plate what you can take off your plate. I've found, even for me, I went through a stage where I just wanted to do everything. I tried to do and be everything. I'm going to be the perfect employee or business owner. I'm going to, work every single day, and I'm going to train every day because I'm a highly productive female in this world, and I'm going to make tons of money, and I'm going to be super successful, and I'm going to juggle it all, and people are going to be like, oh, she's so amazing. And it's just stupid. It's just so stupid. You know what? If you're in a season of life where university is the thing, let that be the thing and give yourself full permission to worry less about the other things that are taking away from you. I think that we're in a society where we put so much stress on ourselves to achieve. So that's kind of what I say about that question. Are certain supplements helpful, or is that a myth? Both. I think definitely most women are deficient in vitamin D. If you're not literally going out for a minimum of like 10 minutes a day, more if you have darker skin with your arms exposed and your face exposed, you probably need to be supplementing with vitamin D. And a lot of my listeners are over in Europe and the UK. I know it can be, particularly on the UK side of things, people have been inside a lot more of recent, and it's generally a little bit more cloudy and gray a lot of the time. So you probably need to supplement with vitamin D, but it doesn't hurt to get tested and figure out if that's actually true for you. Same with some things like for vegans. If you're a vegan, you probably need a B complex. End of story. That's evidence shown. It's going to have value for you if you are not eating animal products. And then I personally take desiccated beef liver capsules. It gives me a little bit of the B's that I need. A lot of us are not getting organ meats, and organ meats is something that I kind of think we should be supplementing with. If you're not already eating at least a serve of it a week, and you don't need much, but a lot of people don't eat organ meats, so I think that that's a good one. I do have a YouTube video on all of the supplements that I took for my HA somewhere in this channel, so you could look at that. I do explain that I got tested and they're specific for me, but it's certainly a good guide to show what types of things you might end up being deficient in when you get tests. And I do talk about the things that I took, even though I didn't necessarily get prescribed those things. It just, they're valuable to take for overall health, right? Not necessarily just for HA. And what we're trying to achieve here with HA recovery is overall health. So this isn't some disease specifically that you're trying to treat the exact symptoms for. You're trying to get your whole body to a baseline of health. So whatever that is for you, it could be something different. So it's important to figure out what you specifically need. Quick post-production edit here to add in. Although I don't have a whole lot to give you on supplementation specifically for HA, I do think it's a fun topic to talk about supplementation that is proven for egg quality improvement, right? I mean, right now you've got a bunch of eggs hanging out in your ovaries, waiting to see the light of day. And now is probably a good time to be working on the egg quality, making sure that they're optimized for fertility, especially conception if pregnancy is a goal. And logically, it just makes sense that focusing on egg quality would have a similar effect in general to focusing on HA recovery and giving your body the nutrients it needs to do the job it's trying to do. So some evidence-based supplementation for improving egg quality that you could start to bring in now just because you're essentially working on fertility is CoQ10. This is an antioxidant that actually helps to prevent the body's tissues from aging. It's been proven to be beneficial to the ovary and slow the natural oxidation and just improve the ovarian reserves. Omega-3 fatty acids are also going to be super helpful to you. So obviously DHA and EPA. You'll find this in fish oil, fish roe, cod liver oil, all that good stuff. And this is associated with improved egg quality, embryo morphology, and just generally improved birth outcomes. So vitamin A, retinol, although you might see around the place people saying vitamin A is like not good for pregnancy. Synthetic, not natural versions of vitamin A are not ideal for during pregnancy because there is a risk of vitamin A toxicity. However, you're not pregnant right now. So vitamin A, retinol is going to be great. Vitamin A is essential for the development and the growth of your eggs. When you go to ovulate, vitamin A helps to improve the quality of that egg and your ovulation. But it's best obtained, honestly, from natural food sources instead of supplementation. So if you can look to supplement it with whole foods, I would do that. And then there's iodine, which is a problem for so many people. Iodine is essential for fertility and your baby's development in the womb. If you don't have enough iodine, you're up to 46% less likely to actually conceive when the time comes to try and conceive. And if you do get pregnant, iodine is important because your thyroid hormone actually increases by 50% during this time, and you need iodine to be able to support that function. So selenium, vitamin E, vitamin C, antioxidants like folate, zinc, all that good stuff, they're all research proven to be beneficial for egg quality. So why not for HA recovery? They're generally just associated with better birth outcomes and higher pregnancy rates. DHEA, this is just associated with improved egg quality, fertilization rates, embryo quality. It's been shown to help women in pregnancy who have poor ovarian reserves. So those are just a few I wanted to pop in and add into this video. Just thought about it in late production. I feel like it could be helpful. The effects of stress on your body. So we had a live event with Holly Dunn in the HA Society, and she took us through a presentation literally called The Effects of Stress on Hypothalamic Amenorrhea. It was really, really good. She gets very nerdy in it, super duper nerdy. So if you like that kind of thing, I actually recommend that you join the HA Society, which, by the way, today is the last day to do so for this month before it closes. But if you jump in, you can actually get the full hour plus presentation that she gives detailing what's happening in your brain, in your body, how to deal with the stress, nutrition for stress. She's a registered nutritionist. Highly recommend doing that. And I may or may not, because I need to ask her first, post it as a replay on the HA podcast, but that wouldn't be for a bunch of months from now. So if that's something that you want to learn about ASAP, get on into the society. We have a whole module on it by Holly Dunn, so go and check it out. But in short, the effects of stress on HA, extremely high. Look, you are in stress. So this is such a vague question, the effects of stress on HA. How do I want to tackle it? I think I'm gonna just say that we live in a world where we're putting ourselves through a lot more high expectations, physical stress, emotional trauma than we have ever been designed to put ourselves through. And I think that we sometimes forget that we're living in a very man-made world that's not exactly how it probably was intended to be for our human biology. So we sometimes see what we're doing as very normal, and other people have even more stress going on and it seems like they can handle it, but that's not true. They're suffering in another way. And the stress that you're experiencing now, although you may have a story in your head that it's weird because it's not much, it really is plenty. We are meant to be spending plenty of time resting. Our main focus is meant to be survival in the sense of gathering food, building shelter, and being in the community, contributing to each other, providing a value to each other that's more than just like a monetary or people pleasing in the sense of like you approve of my body and how it looks, or you approve of what I'm eating and how I'm doing things and how I'm doing life. So I think that there's this emotional stress component that we do not put enough value on, especially when we consider HA recovery. And we really focus heavily on the eating more and the resting more. But the eating more and the resting more is important because it's all an important balance, right? You can't only be in emotional peace and be underfed and over exercised. You need to hit it from all angles. So obviously being in a caloric deficit, this is a stress because your body is looking for the energy and the nutrients that it needs to perform the bodily functions, everything from brain to toe. Every single part of your body has a mechanism, a reason, right? Your hair is growing for a reason, and it takes energy for your hair to grow, for your nails to grow. It takes energy for your eyes to blink and for them to be staying moisturized, and for your skin to stay moisturized and not dry and flake out. And look, all these little tiny things on the outside and the inside, right? Your heart beating, producing red blood cells and white blood cells and platelets, and your liver processing all of the things, and your stomach and your digestive system processing. It's all really important. So remember that literally the physical act of being alive is a stress. And so that is playing a role in your HA, and that being at a nutrient deficit is playing a role, right? So it's not just that you're in an energy deficit for all of the reasons that I just addressed, that your body is trying to do these functions and it literally needs fuel. But when you're in a nutrient deficit, it's hard for your body to perform the functions it needs optimally because it's missing all these important vitamins and minerals, because you're either not getting them because you're not eating any food, or you're not getting them because you're very focused on like just doing all in the way of like junk food and no vegetables and that kind of thing. So stress can look a million quadrillion different ways. Quite simply what's happening is this lack of everything from nutrients to energy to rest and relaxation is not providing a message appropriate for your brain to say, because your brain, right, is making all the decisions for how everything's working in your body. And it's saying we're stressed because of the lack of energy coming in, so we need to shut all of these systems down. So it all comes back to stress. I don't know if any of that made sense, but it just like felt good to ramble about it. How to keep trust in the process after 6 months all in and nothing. Yeah, there are definitely some people where it takes time. I think there's a couple of things here. I want to like key in on the word trusting in the process here. I don't love the term trust the process, because sometimes it means that we don't have to zoom out and just take a look at how we're actually approaching the process. We just trust in the process. Say if you came and worked with me, for example, and we went through your whole history, or at least what you're doing right now, I would ask a million questions to get to the bottom of, like, to paint the clearest possible picture of your life right now, so that we can see if there's any holes that we can fill, gaps that we can close in your stress, nutrition, lifestyle, relationships, supplementation, all that kind of thing. And typically we always find that there's something. So if you've gone 6 months all in, but you haven't changed anything to try and get a new result, I actually think that that's where you need to be. I don't necessarily believe in just sitting in it for a whole year without making change, right? And just trusting, oh, I'm doing the right thing. Yes, it can take people that long, but you should be seeing signs of progress along the way. cervical mucus, an increase in libido, an improvement in mood, increased self-esteem. At some point you should be seeing weight gain happen. So it depends. If you're 6 months, have you seen any weight gain? Have you seen any improvements in these places? Have you looked at your nutrition and said, okay, well, maybe there's a gap here and a gap there that I can fill? I think that it is important to feel like there's some power that you have and that you can control some aspects of it, and you're not just hopelessly trusting in this process and feeling that nothing's happening. So I get it, right? All in's the way, and I see that, and I see the research, and I understand the evidence, but we have to take the particular user into account. So I do see most people who do go all in, who did not start at an extremely low body weight, do see results somewhere between 4 and 6 weeks. This is just what I see. And then those who start at a much, much lower body weight, it takes them more time because A, they need to get their body weight back up to where it needs to be in the first place. And then once their body's up to where it needs to be in the first place, it needs to stay there for a little while, building the trust, getting used to it, turning all of the other individual functions on one at a time, sometimes it feels. And these different things can take into account. So I guess my answer to you is, can you objectively look at your situation, where you've come from, how long you've had AJ for, were you on the pill, and then so 3 months of it was post-pill? Have you been doing some exercise? Have you been avoiding some certain foods and calling it all in? It's really hard for me to tell without knowing you personally. But I do think there's a piece of it that's not necessarily just trusting in the process, but trusting that you have all the tools and information you need to keep moving forward in the process. Now, should you be doing all the things and you're working with a practitioner and you have a plan? Yeah, there's a piece of sitting in the suck that is hard. And I do sometimes think that, 6 months feels like a year and a year feels like 5 years. But, you can do anything for 6 months to 12 months. Like, you can do anything for that amount of time, and it's going to be worth it. And when you get the result that you're looking for, be it a period, be it improved lab results, be it a baby, it's going to be super worth it. And I think that, in order to get through and sit in the suck and be patient with the process and how long it's taking and all the steps that you need to take, I think there's a lot of going inside, right? A lot of inner work you need to do. You have gone so long with chasing results on a timeline and being used to there being this tangible result based on your hard work, and now you're being faced with something that's asking you to stop, take it easy, not worry too much, relax and rest, and just wait for this magical result. So sometimes it's just the headspace we're in, right? 6 months feels absolutely ridiculous for someone like us who is used to this kind of gratification from our hard work and doing the grind and putting it in every day and seeing progress. And now you're in this situation where you can't do any of that, so it's really emotionally hard. So can you flip the script a bit? Can you check in on yourself and be like, why is this so hard for me? Why is it so hard for me to wait 3 months, 5 months, 6 months, 8 months? What's the reality of what that amount of time means? Because time is just a number, this man-made construct that we kind of created to allow us to track the days in a way. And it doesn't have to be more than that. It doesn't have to have morality behind it. So yeah, what's so bad about the fact that it's taking 6 months if you know that you are doing the right things for you? And then I'm going to do this little bonus question that I got from a Q&A that I posted to do with Chloe Hodgkinson, but we didn't get to the question, but I'm just going to do the question here. Is it common to lose appetite later on in recovery? I haven't got my period back yet, but my body is giving me all the satiation cues to not eat more. So I've been failing to hit 2,500 calories or listen to my hunger and fullness and satiation cues. Yeah. Yes. I think that, all possible ways that you experience changes in your hunger are totally normal. And there's a part of it that's like, you're probably eating enough and you can trust in that. There's a part of it that's also, you need to push past the discomfort. Kind of like the question I just answered before, I don't know enough about you and where your body currently is and your starting point to how long you've really been doing this, and all of that's really important context. if you were underweight and you ate a lot and you had plenty of appetite and you got up to a maintenance weight, or you put on a few kilos or pounds, potentially your body is feeling a little bit more like where it needs to be energy intake wise, and now it wants just some time to reach homeostasis, to settle in with this. Maybe it's looking for some nutrients elsewhere that you could be dialing in, seeing where it's at. Maybe it's stress related and you're still drinking a lot of coffee and waiting a few hours for breakfast and doing some exercise that is potentially just pushing you a little bit further away from the goal. So at this stage, if you don't have your period, I would encourage you to keep pushing as best as you can past those satiation goals. We're not super good at judging our own hunger and fullness cues. I trust you that you do feel good in it, but for everyone else, maybe consider pushing through, saying, I'm still new to this. I am only just past this period in my life where I've gone all in and I'm trying to get my period back. And so I am going to continue to push past and sit in the discomfort of being a bit full as much as I possibly can, just to see if it works. Just to see if it works. I think that we get really freaked out when we feel full about eating more. I get it. I honestly fully understand. I do it all the time. So just notice that you're feeling scared. Keep eating more, because this is the evidence. This is the evidence to getting our period back, is eat more. Right now, your hunger fullness cues are probably not 100% reliable. They will be with time. Push past it. Let's get that period back. And then we can look at intuitive eating. Then we can look at, why you feel so full. And if you're actually just like getting to 2,200, 2,400 calories and just, falling a little bit short of the 2,500, I wouldn't worry too much about that. It's if you're finding yourself getting overly full at like 17, 18, 19, 2,000 calories. At that point, we want to be pushing past this and eating more. If you're falling short by just a little bit, I wouldn't worry too much about that. It's just a nice rounded average number. I don't know if any of that made sense. Like I said, guys, absolutely exhausted. So I do apologize if that was all just trash. But yeah. And with that, I just want to let you guys know that today is the very last day that you can join the HA Society. So if you want a community of women who are crushing it at recovery, who totally support each other 100%, there's some girls who have done a London meetup, met up in Germany, met up in Australia. It's so cool to see these connections go from online to offline, especially in this new world that we've been living in the past year and a half. I'm so psyched about it. So if you come on in, you get the first 2 weeks free, and then it's month to month, so it's no commitment, right? You can join, you can cancel anytime, don't worry about it. I want to make sure that it's the right community for you. And then when you come in, you can chat with me or my co-coach Ashley any single time you want. We have community calls in all 3 time zones now. That's new, so it doesn't matter where you live in the world, there's a call in your time zone where we can get together and connect, and we coach through and talk about issues with HA and just feel really connected, that you are not alone. And I think that's why I started the society and the podcast and everything, right? It's really important that you do not feel like the only person going through what you're going through. It's super important that you don't feel unique. There's definitely other people. We're all hanging out over in the society. Everyone is extremely supportive, because no one will support you like a social media friend. This is just true. And I want this for you. I really love seeing all these girls get their periods back. So if you want to see success stories about girls from the society getting their periods back and just learn more about it, head to thehasociety.com. You can start the free trial. You can just learn more about it at the website, and we'll see you there. But remember, it closes today, so if you watch this video too late, you're gonna have to wait till next month. And I don't know how many more months I'm gonna do the free trial for. Maybe again next month, but definitely not the following month. So get on in it. And I should mention that this month we're giving anyone who signs up is getting a bonus period recovery game planner. So this is a downloadable planner that is going to walk you through creating your own recovery plan and when to take action on the next steps. So this is really good for like the last question that we got about losing hope in the process. We are big advocates of making a plan and knowing when it's time to revisit the plan, right? So the period game planner is you're going to join the group and you can sit down with this and figure out what your next steps are going to be, like how you're going to assess progress with those next steps and how you're going to make changes when progress has slowed down so that you can keep moving forward to getting your period. And then you'll be able to chat with me. I'm always available, like your digital coach inside of the society, and we can go through your plan, make sure you're staying on track, literally just talk about your day or whatever it is that's been hard for you lately, and make sure you're moving past those roadblocks. So that's it from me, guys. Can't wait to see you there at thehasociety.com. Please like and subscribe to this channel, and I will see you guys next time.